Hey, Prune and Poppy.
Hey, Megan, what's going on? What? Prune and Poppy, I like that. What's going on? Oh, by the way, folks at home, the reason why she calls me Poppy is because that's my grandfather name for the grandkids. I'm Poppy to the grandkids. So
yes.
Now I must be Prune and Poppy.
He goes by lots of names. Okay.
Yeah, what do you want?
I would like to know something.
Yes.
There's a plant in next door neighbor Mr. G's yard.
Yes.
That I'd like to know what it is.
Let me guess which one it is. It's the one that's in full bloom right now, second week in March.
Yes.
Yeah?
And it's hot pink.
Yeah, well, I call it Rose, and you'll find out what its name is here in a second.
Okay.
I'm going over to look.
Oh,
and Dan
man.
doesn't mind me trespassing into his yard like this. We've been friends since 1988, so.
Yeah, he's known me my whole
Anyway,
life.
all right, Megan, so believe it or not, these two trees, these two little dwarf trees, it's a peach.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not a fruiting peach. Okay, it's what we call a flowering peach tree. Okay, and this now it's the same species. It's Prunus persica. That's the scientific name. But this is a cultivar called Prunus persica, NCSU double red. So years ago, I think it was in the 60s or 70s, NC State released this plant to the industry, and it caught on like wildfire because it's a very early spring flowering tree that attracts lots of insects. And I don't know if you've noticed, there are bumblebees flying around,
yeah, I'm
honeybees, they're all over the place. But it's a very striking color in the early spring, and it really looks wonderful. The leaves come behind the flowers. In other words, once the flowers are done, the leaves start to come. You can actually see some of the leaves already starting. But here's the cool thing about the flowers. It's NCSU double red, so the flowers are double. They have multiple petals, and if you go from the top down, okay, the flowers at the top are the first ones to come out, and then the flowers emerge moving down that stalk, right? And so you see the faded flowers are at the top because they were the ones that came out earlier, all right? And then the color gets deeper and richer as you go down, and if you look closely, you can even see there's still some that are budded up that haven't opened yet.
Yep.
All right. So here's a plant 8 to 10 feet tall at maturity. Okay, rounded habit of growth. Leaves come out long and slender, so it has a halfway decent texture during the rest of the growing season. But this is what we call a homogeneous plant. It's doing its thing during a 2 to 5 week period in the early spring, right? Much like our native dogwoods, okay? But the difference is our native dogwoods have fruit in the fall. These don't produce fruit, no fall color. You'd be planting it purely for its flowers, all right?
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, especially if you want a pollinator garden, you want to serve those insects early in the spring, this would be a great one to have. And it lights up that March landscape, which sometimes isn't as beautiful as the April and May landscapes when all the leaves and other flowers are coming out. So, you know, it's awesome. Independent garden centers may carry it, but one thing to do at home, folks, is call your local garden center and ask them about NCSU double red peach and see if they carry it or if they can get it for you, incorporate it into your yard. No major pest problems, okay? And full sun, gotta be full sun. And I can tell it's full sun because the top of my balding head is starting to get a little bit hot. So anyway, anything else you want to know about this plant?
No, I'm just over here trying to avoid the bees.
Oh, you're worried about the bees?
No.
No, the bees are more interested in the flowers than they are in you.
I'm just trying to keep the camera straight.
You know what's really funny about the bee thing is, you've been afraid of bees ever since you were a little tiny girl out in the garden, and I would tell you the same thing. These bees are more important. They're more interested in the flowers than they are in you.
That is exactly right.
But you've done very well. You haven't jumped or moved the camera.
Nope.
All right.
All right.
Well,
thank you for answering.
Oh,
I
you're
really
welcome.
was curious.
And folks at home, please continue to watch the videos. I love when you send me comments and when you share the YouTube channel. Also, if you aren't a subscriber, subscribe. I've got lots of plans for a lot of new videos. So we'll see you all later.
All right. Take care.